Yo, what's good, everybody? And thank you for tuning in to this review of Mary J. Blige's Real Love. Y'all, if you have not seen this film, I beseech you, therefore, my brethren and my sisterin, to go to whatever you need to make sure that you tune in and that you watch whatever it is you got to do. Y'all, this movie was so good. This film was so good. It made me think about my time in college, being in love in college, all of that good stuff. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. If this is your first time coming to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning family member, then you already know what it is. Be sure to comment, share, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you choose to, make sure you subscribe though. But if not, just sit back, relax, and we're going to get right into this thing. Now, first, the two stars of the film, Adriana Alexis, who portrays Kendra, and Davinchi, who portrays Ben. They did an excellent job exemplifying how one would act and the things that one would do when you're 18 and 19 and you're in love. So first thing first, we meet Kendra. And Kendra is a freshman. They attend the HBCU. And Kendra wants to major in photography. And of course, photography is one of those things that, people kind of look down on because it's not really a reputable or a career where one would think you can make a lot of money. But that's her passion. That's what she wants to do. Kendra was raised by her father. Her mom passed away. So it's her father, her younger sister who already has a child, and herself. And Kendra really made me think of me because Kendra was one of those young girls who was headstrong, like laser focused in on her academics and the things that she wanted to pursue in life. And I was like that. When I first got on campus at the Florida A&M University in Tallahassee, Florida, my entire goal was to make straight A's my entire time as being a college student. It didn't work out that way. We'll get into that as we get into this story. But that was my goal. That was my goal. I was locked in. Even though I did make time for myself and my friends and partying, my number one goal was like, I know what I'm here for. And Kendra had that same type of mindset. Like, she didn't even want to party or nothing. Her whole entire focus was, I'm here for a specific goal, and that's what I'm going to do. And so she ends up meeting Ben. And Ben grew up very differently than Kendra. He grew up in a 2-parent home. They were very affluent. They had money. They came from wealth. And his parents never really took a liking or an interest in the things that interest him. And sometimes in families like that, they already have your life planned out for you. And you could tell that's how Ben was being groomed. Both of his parents were lawyers, and he was to follow in his parents' footsteps. He had an older brother. I can't remember what he did. He could have been a lawyer as well. Don't quote me on that. I don't remember. But it was like Ben was expected to follow the family's occupation. But when he meets Kendra, everything is turned upside down. Everything is turned upside down. So when they initially meet, he's pledging, and he's trying to hook her up with one of his big brothers, who already rubbed me the wrong way initially. Like, I understand he pledged it, but you can't go talk to the girl yourself. Red flag in my book. But anyway, she wasn't trying to, be here for the other dude or whatever, but it looked like she was taking a liking to Ben. So we kind of see their story unfold. So they go to this party, and Kendra has a job, work-study student. And they go to this party, and we are introduced to Connie. And Connie is Ben's childhood friend. No romantic, nothing going on between them. But you can tell Connie definitely has love in her eyes. Or should I say lust? Connie is definitely lusting after Ben, and Ben couldn't care less. He's not giving her the time of day. He is so into Kendra. He's not giving Connie the time of day. But Connie was the true definition of thirst. Connie was thirst personified. So Kendra kind of looking at her, Ben introduces them, and Connie is being, Kendra is being nice, she's like, nice to meet you, Connie. And Connie looked at her like, the hell, and turned her head. I said, ooh, oh Lord, chicks like that. Oh, I can't stand them. So in the midst of Connie talking, Kendra's like, hey, come dance with me. I said, girl, I know that's right. Get that rude heifer together. And she did. So her and Ben were kind of dancing, and the cops came and they shut down the party. And in the midst of that, Kendra kisses Ben for the first time. And, he's like, what is this? Is this kind of like, your way of life experiences, or is this something that's real? And she kissed him again or whatever. So we see them, they get together. And one of the things I really did like about their coming together, and it was so real. It was so real and authentic, because when you come from two different backgrounds and when you begin to merge those things together, you really do see how different you are. But at the same time, you can see that the underlying foundation of what you want and what the other person may want was very similar. And it made me think about the guy that I was dating when I was in college, and I was head over heels in love with him, and I'm in school and everything like that. He was not in school, so we had a long distance relationship. And the dynamic of our relationship was he had such pride in the fact that he was dating someone who was in college. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, why would a college girl want to deal with him? We ain't going to get too deep in that story. That's another story for another time. But it was like I appreciated the things that he did. Like if I had a midterm or something like that, he was like, hey, I'm going to give you some space. You need to stay in your books. And, just call me after your test is over, stuff like that. And I could appreciate it. I did appreciate it then, but it's like now as a full-fledged on adult, I really appreciated the maturity that we, I guess, demonstrated in our relationship, even though in some instances we were both immature as hell, but there were certain times where maturity definitely rose to the occasion. So Kendra is introduced to Ben's parents, and baby, Kendra's experience, I don't know, like I've never had a situation like that. I have never been introduced to someone I was dating parents, and the parents just straight up disrespected me. I've never dealt with that, or just kind of like dismissed me or act like I wasn't even there. And Kendra dealt with that. And it was so embarrassing because it's like, Connie is there. Connie is like the girl that Ben's mom want him to be with. And it's like, but that ain't what your son want. But like I said earlier, sometimes in situations like that or families like that, your wants don't mean anything. Like they just don't mean anything. So Kendra, of course, she felt some way about that. And, and Ben was like, look, she was just there. I don't have nothing to do with that. And I think at that age, when you're maneuvering through a relationship, dudes really do that. Like, there ain't nothing I could do about it. It's like, really? There's nothing you could do about it. There's nothing you could say to put this girl in her place to respect me as your girl. There's nothing you could do about it. Okay. So I think for me, like being at that age, I would feel the same way that Kendra felt. Like, I know there's something you can do. Obviously, you don't see it, but I'm not going to push it. So, he finally tells Kendra that he loves her, and, she returns the sentiment, and they end up having sex for the first time. And it was Kendra's first time, having sex or whatnot. And she overslept for her midterm, and she was not able to take it. I was like, baby, I've been there. It wasn't a midterm, but it was a test where you get caught up in the moment, and what the hell you doing? And so you kind of have a wake-up call, a reality check, and you're like, okay, dealing with this person is causing me to not give my best as a student. And if I have to choose, I'm going to choose being a student. Love can wait. And that was kind of the place that she was in. And she chose her studies. She ended up breaking up with Ben. I don't think I would have broke up with him, but I do understand. Like, I probably would have been like, hey, we need to chill for a minute, or at least until we get closer to the end of the semester, because I can't keep, going back and forth with you or whatnot. So she ended up breaking things off with Ben. And, it's sad. Oh, God, that little breakup when you so young and in love and it's so new and it's so fresh, you just don't know what to do. You just don't know what to do. Because, baby, when me and my boyfriend broke up during that time, it was like anybody could get it right now as far as like these hands and my attitude. Because I don't know how to maneuver in this space of being in love. I still love him, but we're not together. I don't know. But we see. So the dude, going back to the beginning of this review, the guy that Ben was trying to hook Kendra up with name is Reg. And Reg had been pursuing her kind of like softly. He kept making things like, if you ever need to study, if you ever need like help with the reading, let me know, because I've had this professor before and I could really help you. So that was the vibe that Reg was giving her. And she was like, yeah, I'll take you up on it, I'm sure, and she never thought twice about anything negative with Reg. So let me go ahead and put this disclaimer out, or trigger warning, because Kendra was sexually assaulted by Reg, and it was such a triggering moment. Even though I've never been in a situation like that, I have had situations. And so it was triggering, but it was also like the things that a lot of young women, especially when you're going to college, when you're naive, when you're not thinking about the fact that everybody does not have your best interest at heart. And there are really people out there who are seeking to take something from you and take advantage of a situation, take advantage of you being naive, taking advantage of the fact that you may not be experienced and you may not be able to see a red flag when it's, flying out in your face, or, and it's sad that you do have people who function like that, who actually out here living like that, trying to take something from somebody. You know what I'm saying? It's horrible. And I thought about, and it's so like that guy, and he's an amazing actor, but that guy, it was so crazy because as I was watching it, I was like, dang, he looked like this dude that, of course it's not him, but he looks like this guy who tried to talk to me when I was in college. And it was crazy. It was Welcome Week. And for those who don't know, Welcome Week is like the first week of school that freshmen go on campus. Freshmen go on campus, kind of get acclimated, with their way, their dorms, the campus as a whole, things like that. And so during this time, a lot of fraternities and sororities throw all these parties. And me and my roommate, we went to this little ice cream social that was thrown on by some of the fraternities and sororities or whatnot. And so this guy approached me and he asked, he kind of made small talk, and he asked, could he have my number? And I politely declined. Number one, I wasn't attracted to him. And number two, like, I wasn't on that vibe. Like, we just here to kind of see how things are. We having a good time. I'm not trying to deal with no dudes, at this moment. And so in a slick, shiesty way, he ended up getting my cell phone number. Red flag. And then I'm like, how he got my number? Okay. Then he ended up getting my dorm room number. I still don't know how that happened to this day. And I ain't been in college in a whole lot of Sundays, okay? I don't know how he got my dorm room number. I'm like, either he jacked it from, I don't know, or he knew somebody in the office and they gave it to him. I don't know. But he gave me creepy vibes from the moment I met him. It was like it was just something about him. And sometimes, I think as women, we'll have moments like that where our discerning nature is taking over and we downplay it. Or we don't, take heed to what, our body is telling us. Like, it's speaking. It's alerting you. It's letting you know, leave him the hell alone. Do not welcome him into your space, and I didn't. But he was very, very persistent to the fact that I had to curse him out. Like, don't, if you see me walking on campus, turn the other way. Like, don't talk to me, because he wasn't taking no for an answer. He wasn't getting the message of, I don't want anything to do with you. And sadly, it's like, I'm telling you, leave me alone. I don't want to talk to you. I'm not interested. And it was almost as if like he didn't give a damn what I said. He wanted what he wanted, and he was going to actively pursue it until he got it. Now, he never got it, because it was getting to the point. It was like, look, my dad is a sheriff's officer. Do you want to do this? Because I can make your life a living hell. Because my dad, even though he law enforcement, your family will be one member short this Christmas. Keep playing with me. Like, it was like that. We had to get down and dirty like that. But, that scene was very triggering. This innocent girl who literally went over there to study with him, and he already had his mind made up about what he was going to do. He was playing it real nice, real sweet. And once he saw that she wasn't like giving in to his advances, he turned into a complete creep. You know what I'm saying? And so it was like, that happened to her. And then you saw her appearance change. It was like she didn't take as much care and concern in her appearance and the way that she looked, the way that she did her hair, she became very withdrawn, and her and Ben were not together. And so she just went about life. She didn't tell anybody. Her dad ended up getting sick. She goes home and she gets these pills. So she had been popping pills so that she could, I guess, deal with the traumatic experience. Because like I said, she wasn't sharing, anything in college. I was going through certain things in college, and, my vice of choice was sex and alcohol, and it's like, what you're doing is not healthy, but it's like at the same time, it's giving you, or you believe it's giving you a sense of peace, and it's giving you a sense of relief, not realizing that these are false feelings that you're experiencing. Because once that euphoria has left, once you come back to yourself, you still got to deal with those same things. They never went anywhere. You know what I'm saying? So suppressing something is not the same as dealing with it, overcoming it, and moving on. So we began to see her, get more and more withdrawn. And so her friend Terry, which is her roommate as well, found her on the floor. It was like a overdose or what have you. And she ended up finding her, and she saved her life. And one thing I can say about the complexities of this film is that you had the love relationship of Kendra and Ben, but then you also had this beautiful dynamic of friendship between Terry and Kendra. And I think sometimes too, we highlight the love aspect, the relational, the romantic side, but then you also have these other types of relationships that means just as much. Because me and my friends, like some of the same friends I met my freshman year of college are my same friends that I have today. They are the same. They are my unit. You know what I'm saying? They are my group. They are my family. We don't talk every day or every other day, but you know what I'm saying? They are my tribe. And I'm so grateful for that. We were just talking, showing my age. Me and my friends next year will be 20 years that we stepped foot, that we started our college journey. And it's so hard to believe, because sometimes I feel like we're those same 18-year-old, young ladies who walked up on that campus. You know what I'm saying? And so much life has happened. And I was very appreciative that Kendra was able to have that experience of not only falling in love or experiencing love on a deep level with Ben, but she also had, that friendship, that girl that she also experienced, with as well. So that was great. Another aspect of this movie that was really great is having a professor who sees your potential and pushes you. And I know sometimes people don't like to be pushed. We don't like to be pushed out of comfort zones. We don't like to be pushed out of things that, I'm okay with where I am. But when you have someone in your life who sees more, who sees further down the road, who can see your untapped potential, and they push you and they nudge you and they don't settle for your mediocrity. And I like the fact that Kendra had that in her photography professor. Her professor saw something in Kendra, and it was like, look, you have a great eye. Untapped talent. I want to push you. There are so many things that you could do. So she began to tell Kendra about this program at this school in Chicago, and she thought that Kendra would be great for it. And Kendra was like, me, because mostly it was given to upper classmen, not freshmen. And so her teacher was like, I think you have a shot just like anybody else of getting in. Like, I really do think that you should, take advantage of this. And, Kendra doubted herself, but she ended up applying, and she got in. And so her and Ben end up getting back together. And lo and behold, she's coming out of one of the buildings, and she see Connie's ass sitting on the bench crying. And Kendra was just so sweet. And even though I said Kendra was, I kind of see myself in this character, I would have walked by Connie. You could just cry. I don't care why you crying. But Kendra sat down and made conversation, and come to find out, Connie was pregnant by Ben. And I said, you skeezer. It wasn't her fault. It wasn't her fault, because it take two. Okay, it take two. But I was just mad, because I'm like, Kendra and Ben finally got back together. They doing well. Now, all of a sudden, you are pregnant? And Ben did not know. You know what I'm saying? Ben did not know. And I'm just like, oh God. So she went to Ben. She was upset, like anyone would be. She was upset, and basically Ben and Connie had sex while he and Kendra were broken up. But let me pause there, because Ben, they go to this party. Him and Kendra are back together. She does tell him about the assault that took place. And, he wanted to know who it was. Who is it? Who did it? When did this happen? My people are lawyers. We could deal with this right now. And that's not the direction that she wanted to go into. She didn't tell him who did it. She just never said anything. So they end up going to this party, and they see Reg. He got a smile on his face looking at Kendra. It was almost like, yeah, I know what I did to you. You ain't gonna say nothing. It was like he was, even though he didn't speak anything, he was making a mockery out of what he did to her. The mere sight of him caused her to have like an anxiety attack. So, of course, Ben and Terry are looking at her, and they could tell, like, okay, like when she saw him, this is when this happened. So Ben put two and two together and proceeded to go in there and whoop Reg's ass. Unfortunately, when he hit Reg hit his head and passed out. So he got in the hospital. He was going to press charges and all of that stuff like that. And Ben's parents, of course, they're lawyers. They get him out. When he came from by that door, he just bypassed his parents and hugged Kendra and was like, I'm sorry. And, his parents were upset because they're like, this is the type of girl you want to be with. Like, she didn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? He was protecting her honor. And, it was the first time that we saw Ben kind of stand up to his parents and was like, y'all have never taken an interest in what I liked. You've never shown me any interest. Like, I'm just your son, but you don't ask what I like. Like, you don't know me. And Kendra is the first person that made me feel like what I desired was worthy. You know what I'm saying? And I think that sometimes when you are young like that and you meet somebody who show a genuine interest in you and your likes and your desires, it does something for you. It makes you feel like you can do anything, that you can achieve what people have placed on you as being unattainable. And I think that's the dynamic that we saw. So fast forward back, Connie, is pregnant, and Kendra has to decide what she's going to do. She got into the school, and it's like, are you going to go or are you not going to go? And so she made the decision to go. And I was so happy for her, because it's like doing what everybody else expects you to do, not really having, your mom there to kind of shoot things off with. And I couldn't even imagine being that age without my mom. You know what I'm saying? And so, and being in love and deciding that I do love you, but I love me more, and I have to venture out and follow my dreams. And I think that with being in those relationships when you're young and things are so unpredictable and things are so, it's so fresh and it's so new, and you just don't know how things are going to turn out. You know what I'm saying? And it made me think about being in love and thinking that who you're gonna spend your forever with, and they come to find out that's not who it is. And it could be shattering. It could be shattering, but life will always life, and life always teaches. And so at the end, we see that Kendra, she makes a decision to go to Chicago. Her and Ben take a selfie on her camera, which was so cute, because, it wasn't no cell phones back then, because this takes place in 1992. Yeah, it takes place in 1992. The fashion, oh my God, they did that. Whoever was responsible for the looks of this film, baby, y'all hit it out the park. Y'all did that, because it was so good. And, he asked her if she could do it all over again, like knowing what she know now, would she do it? And initially, because she couldn't answer the question, but at the end of the movie, she told him that she would do it all over again. And I was like, this movie just felt so good. Like, I am a film, but I love film, and I love Black film. I love Black love. So for me seeing this, it was just so good, because it made me feel like, I remember, even though it was set in 1992, it was like, but when I stepped foot on FAMU's campus, I felt this way. I felt pride seeing my brothers and sisters, aspiring for higher, education. Like, I love being able to party and dance and have a good time, like feeling safe amongst my peers. You have your little sprinkles here and there where they got, their own agendas, but for the most part I felt like I was around family, and we don't really see too many films that represent that and show us in that light. And it was just a beautiful love story. And I'm so thankful that Mary J. Blige, penned and got the idea and, and executive produced this. And it was just amazing, like sharing some of her experiences and putting it on film. And the second part to this, the Strength of a Woman, baby, it was just as good. And I'm gonna do the review on that too. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. And yeah, man, check it out. It's on Lifetime. So whatever you got to do to watch it, get into it. You will not regret it. It is such a beautiful, on-time story. And shout out to Adriana, Alexis, and davinchi for playing the hell out of these roles and bringing the characters of Kendra and Ben to life. Thank you guys again for listening. Until next time, I will holler at y'all later, and y'all be safe out there.